Hey guys.
Hello, happy just a couple days after Halloween.
Woo woo. We hope everybody had a nice, safe Halloween. It was very wet here where we
Not here.
live. Not there?
No, it rained for like the first half hour and then that was it. And then the sun came out and it was like beautiful.
Oh, it stormed all the way through. We normally have a good amount of trick-or-treaters at our house. We had none.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
I felt so bad because I love seeing the kids out. Our weather guys was just we had a horrible storm. It was rough.
Whereas we did not, and we had probably 400 trick-or-treaters.
But you're okay. If you've ever seen Alicia's outside of her house, it's incredible. Like they go full out and decoration around the house and it's stunning. She's a full boat, guys. A full
Yeah,
boat.
we cleaned it all up yesterday and I'm feeling it today. All right. Well, anyway, I love Halloween. Halloween night is always one of my favorite nights to come out of Dancing with the Stars. So I kind of felt like, I don't know, I wouldn't say there was a lot of like my favorite routines this year, this time around. Like I feel like some of them were not as memorable as I was kind of banking on, but there were some good ones. So,
They all went darker, gory.
hmm,
There was none that was happy, spooky feeling, and I think it needed that to
yeah.
break it up a little bit. I have to send you this routine off of Strictly Come Dancing. It
Okay.
was phenomenal. Katya and Lewis, if you get a
Okay.
chance, you got to look up their Halloween routine this week. Oh, so good, Alicia. You will love it.
That's awesome. I was it like Dwight and Daniela, right? Or was it like that like
No, that was
creepy?
more dark. Like to me, even though that was cool, that still
Yeah,
was on the darker side. Like everybody, like this season, like for us here for Dancing with the Stars, it was more
yeah,
like undead, sexy vampire blood and
yeah,
guts.
yeah.
This was like very haunted mansion feeling,
Ooh,
like it was quirky and kind
scary
of,
skeletons.
but it was
Driven
fun.
by
It
the
was an
spot.
uplifting song, and they were
Yeah,
zombie ghost
that's cool.
things. I don't know, but it was like a big show number, and
Mm,
it was just a fun number. There wasn't that that
yeah,
feeling.
yeah. So I feel like that kind of like I don't know, that kind of like you said, that kind of made the night like feel a little different than I think it has in previous years because there have been like those slightly more fun and like the laughable side of Halloween, and I feel like we definitely didn't get any of those.
Yeah.
But anyway, but there were some good numbers for
I
sure.
was like
So
the closest number to more of the fun I felt like was the very first number, which
yes.
was Mark and Whitney.
Hmm.
Okay, I love this routine partially because they put tap in it. And that's my style. That's my main
Hmm.
style, guys. Like I love it. Um, I do struggle though why this got a 10 because they were out of sync.
Yeah, it was on a sync. Timing was a little bit off. It was heavy. Like I said, they added a little bit of that tap feel to it instead of the jazz, which kind of gave it more of that heavy musicality type feel. But it didn't really feel as difficult. It was a little bit off.
I still feel
Yeah,
like the stylization for jazz was there, like very Twilight art.
absolutely.
It was a sharp jazz motion, except there were some components of the tap. And I
Hmm.
feel like it could have been just hit harder and I think it would have resonated, but she started to be like a half, not a full beat, but like a half a beat, not even a half a beat, but just that much faster than Mark.
Hmm.
And it just didn't stay together. So it really bugged me that she got a
I agree.
10. Um, then we went to Jordan and Ezra. Now this I loved this number. Um, but it was interesting. I rewatched it
Hmm.
and I don't know if you caught this. In the story, so she if you haven't watched it, she does like this whole thing with a harness and rope. And like Ezra talks about him playing the role of like keeping her down
Yes.
and like being kind of a negative
Hmm.
component. And then when Jordan talked, she talked about it being the rope helped her and how to lean on her, like lean on it and get help and support. So somewhere
There was a
that
miscommunication.
story changed,
Yeah.
or it was a different meaning to her, to him.
Hmm.
And I don't know if that's what set that number off. I thought the number was beautiful and really cool. The judges didn't like this one, and I thought they were like almost really in sync, but like again, they didn't feel the love for this number, but
Yeah, but I feel like props are always like we talk about that all the time. Props are so difficult and they have to be done with like exact precision. And I think what they were really mentioning with the prop was the idea that, especially as Ezra was kind of dealing with two ropes at the same time, there were instances where it looked a little bit like he was fumbling with it, whereas I don't necessarily think he was fumbling with it, but I think it wasn't choreographed in to be moving it in different ways, and so therefore it looked like a struggle when it really wasn't, you
yeah.
know?
I'm still also intrigued by how the story changed, or if it was like
Yeah.
because like that it like he looked really dark and cynical, but like
Hmm.
then how she explained it, I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Something didn't.
When I rewatched it, because I didn't catch that the first time,
Yeah, I didn't either.
and then when I rewatched it and I caught that, I was like, oh, that's interesting. So yeah, fun fact there.
Hmm.
But I
Definitely.
loved it. I thought it was a very creative use. Like we've seen that
Yes.
in like commercial world or some other like I know like Julianne used a harness not with a rope, but in Move Beyond when they went on tour and some different people have used it. So it's a concept that if you are familiar with the dance world and probably have seen it, but I think for Dancing with the Stars, it's a completely new concept. So
Hmm.
I thought it was very interesting and intriguing to try to bring something in new that people haven't seen.
Yeah, I agree.
Then our next one was Andy and Emma. And he is doing so good. I love him.
I
Although
know.
it's Andy, and like they are like Emma's giving him more content, and he is
Yes.
improving.
Yes.
Um, but I'll just be honest, is he at the same level as the other competitors at this point?
No, but I think he knows that. And like he
He
mentioned
does.
in his package, like it's 100%. I'm going home this week. I'm gonna do the best I can because I'm gonna go home. And then he does it, and then he's like, "Okay, got it." You know, like,
And I
it's
think
kind of fun
it
at this
it
point.
that reminds me so much of Jerry Springer. The exact
Yes.
same thing happened with him on the season. And like I think he's ready to go home, but like I feel like now at this point it's time for him to go home. Although I will say I do fear for one other competitor that could go before him. I could see that, and we'll get to that one pretty much next. Um, but
We'll see.
I think his time is coming to an end.
Yeah, but I like my thing with this is I wish there was a little more anticipation because like it was supposed to kind of feel like driving and it just was not. So I'm not I'm not really quite sure what more could have been done to make it feel that like Jaws kind of feel, right? That like dun, 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 dun. So I don't
Also,
know. But
did you
anyway,
notice how much fog was on that floor?
oh my goodness, yes.
And that is a smart technique. that they have
Hide
used
the
to
feet.
hide the feet sometimes.
Hide the
So
feet.
I'm sure that was done purposely.
Hide the feet. Definitely. 100%.
Um, I did feel very like movie feeling, and like she
Yes, I love
played
that.
to his strong acting ability.
Definitely.
Um, then our next one was Elaine and Alan, and I felt so sad that Elaine got injured and we had to see the dress rehearsal. Um, and like the dress rehearsal routine was good. Was all her extensions there? Was everything clean and perfect technique? No, because they thought it was a dress rehearsal.
Right.
And
Right.
also in the show, you have more adrenaline pumping through you to
Definitely.
push you through. Um, but I thought it was still very well done.
Hmm.
Um, I am happy though that she got voted in, so
Yes, me
that
too.
wasn't her ending story.
Yes, I
And
totally agree.
with her injuries and stuff, she's the one that I worry about next week. But I
I mean,
hope,
she's in rehearsal. She looks like she's doing better. So
yeah, but I
I
hope
don't know.
that at least no matter what, she gets to go home, not on her terms because America votes you off. So it's
But
not like
feeling
saying
good
I'm
about
going
it.
home, but
Right.
that she goes home giving everything that she could
Right.
versus an injury pulling you out.
Right. This is a really good reminder to anybody in the theater world or the dance world that dress rehearsals are not just go with the flow and just kind of do them. Dress rehearsals should be as full out as humanly possible
Exactly.
because that makes the biggest difference. And especially now, you hope that now everybody else going forward realizes, man, if I get injured, they're going to look at this. I need to make this the best that I can
Exactly.
because it is possible. It's always possible.
And it's happened before. She's not the first
Yes.
one.
Nope.
Um,
Especially in COVID when we had this going on through
oh,
the COVID
with COVID,
season,
then they were even like,
right?
that was weird because like
It
you
was
even
very
then had
weird.
them like recording dances
Right.
like parallel in two different places. Like it was,
It was crazy. But a lot of this happened because people would get sick and then wouldn't be able to be in the ballroom. And so there was a lot of that going on then too. So,
um, then our next one was Danielle and Pasha. Um, and she hit a Viennese waltz and it was pretty. And like she also like they came up with a story to it too. Like you can tell every single one this
hmm.
episode had a story. Again, she was darker. Um, and I love Danielle, but
For
there's
me,
something
no, go ahead.
missing, and I know
Yeah.
like and I know part of it too is like her full hold and stuff like that, but I feel like she's been very here's the basic story to what we're doing at this time. I want to feel that raw emotion from her that leaves her vulnerable on the floor. And I think it's getting to know she hasn't talked about her family. She hasn't talked like she's done more show and stuff like that. And there's been personal things like yes with Bill Daniels with Mr. Feeney and stuff like that, but I think she almost needs to open up a little bit to people to see her, but I also need to feel that authenticity on the dance floor for her to like really express the feelings and see more than one emotion within a dance. It's
Hmm.
okay at a time to be like, this is joyful, this is pleasant, and then like really mad. Like it doesn't have to be one straight emotion through an entire dance.
Hmm.
Does that make
I,
sense?
it does. I think for me, I think the thing that's gonna expand her is the idea of like the strength of the movement. It's not just a placement, it is a move this through the water. This
It's that
constant
transitioning.
like yeah, like you're missing that. And I think for me, I think it's less of the emotional side, and I think it's more of the purpose in the movement, the dramaticism, the like just the rigidity of it, the movement through, like you're going through water, right? Where
Hmm.
it's not just cut. It's this constant thing. The
It's
hand
not
strength,
hitting
the
pictures.
right,
It's telling the story through
right.
each movement of the dance.
And I think for me, I think it's less of the facial emotion, and I think I'm more looking for that full body next step.
See, but I think part of that too, that authenticity part that I was talking about and the emotion is the emotion filling your whole entire body.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's what I'm experiencing is that I'm just getting it here in the face, but not the
Get the rest.
entirety of her entire movement piece. So maybe like like how I said, there's something missing, and like I'm trying to grasp at it. So it could be a combination of all of this too.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Then we had Robert and Whitney. He was phenomenal.
He was phenomenal, but I wish, and I think this is what would have set him to that perfect score, was I wish it was a little more grounded. I wish it was a little more sunk because I feel like it was, I don't know, I feel like it was a little too upwards. And I think that that was maybe the thing that set him to not the perfect score.
And the one thing though for him I noticed was sometimes he like the frame and the connection in like the lower part of the body wasn't always as sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but otherwise, like it was very strong,
Oh,
don't get me wrong.
phenomenal. Yeah,
Uh,
phenomenal.
and I personally think it was one of his best dances.
Definitely.
But like at times I saw like oh, a little gapping and stuff like that. But like again, he's not a pro. So like those things are
Not
gonna
even a
happen.
dancer.
Exactly. But he's so like he's just one of those
So
people that
good.
is just so naturally gifted. Like
So good.
you always get a couple of those like when I teach in the musical theater, like there'll be somebody who doesn't dance and I'd be like, "You don't dance?"
Yeah, yeah.
Like
They just know. They know where their body is in space. They know where all of their body parts are. They know how to move it. They know what that fluidity feels like. They know what the rigidness feels like. And it's just amazing. It's
exactly.
really cool when you see it.
Then we had Jen and Jan. My heart goes for Jan this week. If you guys don't know what's happened, Max said some stupid things online.
That's
And
Max. It's always been Max.
and Max, here's the thing I like about Max is he does say what he thinks. And he's very honest. I'll
Always.
give him that, but he doesn't always have the time and place and when to say things and the tactfulness of how to say something. Um, are parts of what Max is saying true? Yes, not all of it, I don't think. I don't agree with
Mhm.
everything. But as a new pro, you are gonna learn things. There are things you aren't gonna know, and you're gonna have to pick that up with experience and practice. And I, you can't, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. But like
you
I said, I
can't
mean, I think we've talked
falter.
about this in the past. We talked about this in the past, right? About my opinions on him being paired with Jen, with everything that Jen was going through in her personal life. I wish, I'm not talking about Jan as a pro. I just wish she was paired with somebody who had more experience in the show so that it wasn't two people learning how to do life.
Right,
One person who's learning how to navigate postpartum and being a mom, and the other one is trying to learn how to do the show.
right,
So I just feel like the two of them didn't have maybe the season that they could have had they been paired differently. Give Jan somebody with a little more dance experience so that he's not fighting and having to do what he needs to do nearly as much. And give Jen somebody who is not trying to also learn all of the things that come with this show. So, I like you said, some of the things that he said maybe have been true. Would he have said them in the way that he did? No. Um, but at the same time, he has apologized publicly,
Hmm.
and I do appreciate that because that also takes a lot of energy and a lot of like, just being that type of person. And Max has always been tough. Max was always tough when he was on the show.
I
He's
loved
just a
Vale.
tough
I don't know
person.
if you saw Vale's interview
Yes.
where somebody interviewed him and he was like, "He's my brother. I love him. I don't have to agree with my brother,
Hmm.
but I do love my brother." And
Of
I thought
course.
that was very interesting. And I thought Jan did a beautiful job. And here's the other thing too, is different places of where you learn teach differently.
Definitely.
And I think that also has to come into play um in Mac's perspective. And sometimes people don't think about that because people are all from different countries, and dance is a technique that changes from place to place where you're learning, and there's
Definitely.
different realms. And like like I know tap very well. So like some places call it a drawback, some people call it a pullback.
Mhm.
Some people like I've heard Flappy Hill Brush Heel Toe Heel is called the Broadway or Shirley Temple. I've also heard it called Everything But the Kitchen Sink. There's different tap names for different steps, and like there are different ways of how people teach different things. And I
Mhm.
think it's okay to be aware of that. And it's okay
Mhm.
to teach differently. And I feel like with what Max said, he was looking at it only from his perspective.
Absolutely. 100%. I do hope what I hope comes out of that is I hope he will sit a little bit more with his words. I hope they have an opportunity to sit down with each other and hash it out a little bit and maybe gain a little bit of insight on each side, right? Because that's all we can ever hope from when
Hmm.
something like this happens is that there is an opportunity for growth on both sides. And you hope that both sides are willing to take that opportunity.
I have to say though that Jan did a fantastic job, because if you look at people who are usually on for their first season that people don't really know, he went pretty far. So that
Hmm.
also has to account for like how good he is in his work
Yes,
with everything, with even Jen, start like going through postpartum and being a mom and like going through that, and what he was able to put together and still learn.
definitely.
I think he needs to be proud of that. And he did an amazing job as a pro.
I totally agree.
And this last dance, I thought it was cool because I felt like this was Jen's best dance
Hmm.
overall. Just the sharpness and the musicality with the troupe in that number. I thought it was cool. Like, if you go home on a high.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
I felt like both of them did.
I totally agree.
Then our next one was Alex and Val. Um, and they had a tango. It was a very cool like how they started. And it was, I don't know if you saw how they were originally going to try real dirt and then it turned to rubber mulch, but the real dirt got like all over the dance floor, got
Oh
in like
gosh, I'm
their
sure.
eyes, like it wasn't good. So,
Yeah. My thing with this one is I feel like Alex, her feet are always very far apart. And I feel like if she keeps her feet closer together on turns and walks and whatever when they need to be, of course, I feel like it'll help with her overall body placement because I feel like right now her steps are still a little too far apart
well, and it's
at
interesting that you
points.
say that because I was listening to Sharna's uh podcast, and like she talked about, she's like, I don't know what the judges saw. She's like, I felt like their body contact was way too far apart, like throughout the
Hmm.
piece. And like larger steps are going to cause that. They weren't as together, they weren't as tight. Where all the judges loved it. And even Cheryl's like, you can't break cold in the middle. No, she was looking at it from international tango, I think.
Hmm.
And then the other one was looking at it from like the American style.
Hmm.
And there's no definition of which one that they're using here at Dancing with the
Right,
Stars.
right.
So I think it's a very
Loose,
loose
open.
thing. And I don't know if you can necessarily judge that if there's no definition. And I feel
Right,
like somewhere we need to create a rule book that allows and like the pros can still choose to break the rules or not, but I think that might help the judges and the pros know exactly what is the content specified that we're looking at. Are we looking at the American style? Are we looking at the international version of it? Like I said, there's different techniques for
right,
where the style is taught.
right. But I also feel like that also always gets a little funky when you've got a guest judge in there
Hmm.
because maybe all the other judges are kind of all on the same page, and then all of a sudden you get the guest in there that thinks one thing, and you know, so.
So it's always tricky. Then we had Dylan and Daniela. He's phenomenal. I I enjoy him. Like he wants to do so well. And it's interesting. Like I would have not seen him as a fantasy
Nope,
story
nope, literally
romance
not.
guy. Like, and then he brought that out of nowhere. I was like, oh, um,
Cool.
choreography wise, like she started blindfolded, which was cool. This one though is hard for me because it's been done before on the show.
Hmm. Right,
So for a lot of the newer fans that have been watching are like, oh my gosh, we've never seen anything like this before.
right.
Nope, nope, nope. Sharna did it. Who did Sharna do it with? James. Um,
Vanderbeek.
yeah, James Vanderbeek, I believe. And like, no, no,
No, no, no,
Hinchcliffe.
no. Hinchcliffe.
Hinchcliffe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
James
yeah, yeah.
Hinchcliffe. Um, and did a whole number, like, but she did the entire number blindfolded,
Yes.
which was
Wasn't
really
she
cool.
wearing blue,
Yes.
royal blue?
Yep, exactly.
Hmm.
Um, but Dylan, like again, like they did it cool and then she took it off. So like it's a really cool concept. Guys, if you ever try to dance blindfolded, you lose your sense of center. It's hard. So it's not
Didn't
something
Brittany do it? Didn't Britt do it with Daniel?
she might have.
I feel like they did it too because they did it at one point because he obviously he could not hear anything, and
So
so
she
then they
might have tried
also
to
took
lose a
away his
sense.
sight as well. And yeah, like I think that I'm pretty sure they did that too, and it was phenomenal from what I remember.
I'm just gonna go with it because I remember something vaguely, but I can't recall it. So we've
I'm pretty
seen
sure.
this before.
But anyway.
This isn't something totally new. Um, Again, it was a Viennese waltz. It was beautiful. It was a nice storytelling. Um, his hair and makeup were crazy, and I loved it.
Hmm.
Um,
For me, I felt like it was a little rushed. And I think it's maybe just because the length of his steps are so large that then he's having to kind of drag Daniela into that when
and
they're
I
in
can see
hold.
that,
And
and
so
that's not something though that
yeah,
like you can really stop because that's just
nope,
his stride.
it's just a stride. That's all it is.
Um,
But it just felt a little rushed.
but I could see that just the size difference and the height difference of their
Hmm.
body. Um, I feel like for me, I need a little bit more attack.
Hmm.
I think that would help him just set him to the next level.
Yeah, I think so too.
Um, then we go into the murder on the dance floor thing.
I do
Lindy
agree. I
Hop.
think it should have been Alex and Val.
And the judges were split half and half. Um,
I think it should have been Alex and Val.
I don't like these.
I don't either,
It's
especially
really
when there's an
hard
odd
to
number of
read
judges
it on.
or even number.
I now I've been to a taping of Dancing with the Stars, so I have seen it live in these events versus it reads so much better in the ballroom because you can actually see everything, and it's hard for me to judge it because I can't see every dancer.
All
Like
the time,
if they did a wide shot the whole
the
time
whole thing.
somewhere, so I could have a visualization on everybody and
Hmm.
really watch. But the problem is I am only seeing what the camera is allowing me to see at
Right.
that time.
Right.
And I can't make the official judge call on that. So to me, these don't read as well
Hmm.
on the camera.
I agree.
Um, but in between, when the two of them were dancing off, I agree, should have been Alex and Val. I felt like they had more of a stronger choreography base, like, and just like
Hmm.
really went at it. And it's interesting, there
Yeah.
were two and two, and they were split, and one of the dancers just had to, like, one of the judges had to kind of give in.
Yeah.
So, but it is what it is on that. Those are not
Yep.
my favorite pieces.
No.
Um, we didn't get to do Wicked last week, guys, because I had a dental stuff done on Monday night.
Yeah, and I was away on vacation, and so it's just
Things
chaos.
just happened, but I have to go back to Wicked Night. It was my favorite episode ever. That opening number.
The opening
Oh,
number was phenomenal.
and
Phenomenal.
Derek singing, Dancing Through
So
Life.
good. So
Oh,
good.
if you have not watched that opening number, it was the best opening number of Dancing with the Stars history.
I would love to know if John ever connected with him to be Fiero.
Oh, I know, right?
You would never know. Nobody would ever tell you. But I literally, like, I think it could have happened, and he would have declined it anyway. But I can't
Really?
imagine that John did not think about it.
I don't think Derek would have declined that.
I don't know. I don't know. I think it's more acting than anything else, and I don't know. I don't think he would have went for it, but I would love to actually be like, did he ever approach you to do that?
Um, I think he'd be a perfect candidate for Broadway.
I think so too.
I'm just saying, hint, hint.
I think so
Although I
too.
really want him to do another Broadway show before he does Wicked. Derek, if you ever can get on Singing in the Rain,
That's another good one, but I
chop
think he
chop,
would make a
Derek.
fabulous Fiero.
I love you, Derek, but I want to see you as Gene Kelly, Don
Yes.
Lockwood, and Singing in the Rain. That's what I want to see.
Hmm. That would be a good one too. I know so many good things that he could do. But I loved that opening number was, like I said, we talked about our favorite number. That was by far
I know, like
favorite
that
last
was
night.
the best. I like all the numbers were so good. I thoroughly enjoyed every single number of Wicked Night.
They were
Like
so fun. I really wish Robert had gotten his tens because I think he totally
that was
deserved
phenomenal.
them.
He should have gotten tens across the
It
board.
was, if I have to definitely pick my favorite of the night, it was that. It was pure, it was fun, it was upbeat, it was just,
I agree.
it was so good. And I do not understand why we were not given tens, but that's
Dancing Their Life. It was so good.
life was so
Whitney outdid herself with that choreography and like,
100%.
oh, so good. Everyone had like big production numbers. I just
Good.
loved every piece of it. Um,
They did. It was just smiley. It made you just smirk the whole time. It was so fun.
it's really interesting because people who've watched like Defying Gravity for Elaine's, I've heard a couple people talk about it, and if they have not seen Wicked, they don't understand her ending of the dance, where
Yeah,
like her flying up. And I think people, you have to understand the musical to
right.
understand that dynamic of her going up on that set piece,
Yeah.
because that's
Well, you
what's
know
done in
what?
the
Wicked
Broadway
is
show.
touring again. So if y'all haven't seen Wicked, it is touring. It's coming to Buffalo. It's coming to Rochester. We're actually going to see it because Brian has never seen the stage show. So we will be heading
I
to
can't
Rochester
understand how
in
Brian's never
February.
seen it.
I know. So
He's
we're
a
going
theater
in
kid
February.
too. Like I don't.
I don't know, but we're going in February to go see the stage show. So,
Good. Make it
yeah,
right. Although
yeah.
he's going to see the movie version before he sees the stage show.
Yeah, but that's okay.
It is. The
They're two
movie's
totally
really good.
different beasts.
I
And,
can't wait for part two.
I know, I hear it's phenomenal.
My mom just said have him read the book. The book is very dark. I don't like the book as well.
The book
The
is very
musical is
dark.
much better. Have you read the book?
I have read bits and pieces of the book just based on things online, and I'm just kind of like, I can't.
I read it. I
Yeah.
read it in high school. I don't know if that was a great idea.
Well,
But
anyway, we got less than a minute. We're gonna get kicked out of here, but
okay, so we need to end it.
it's
So,
all
but
good.
guys, Wicked Night, phenomenal. And
And
next
now we
week
go to
is
rock and
Rock and Roll
roll.
Week with Flava Flav. Yeah,
I don't know about
boy.
that, but I like rock and roll.
You know, same with me. Bye, guys.